But JT, I actually hit JT with the biggest tube shot. He's on the ground. I come to look at him.
He looks like a no-nonsense fella, doesn't he?
Game of Thrones. What's this one? Get that in your creamy underpants.
And last year you say, well, he did a fantastic job. We've got to say a lot of injuries this year to key players, and they just haven't really got back on the horse.
This is the maddest place on the planet.
Dancing.
The only show where you're allowed to do it without shoes on.
Andrew Johns, one of the greatest players of all time.
Cuddles and kisses go a long way, especially when you're in trouble.
Oh, the horse has bolted. Look at the big fellow go in.
Imagine if he wanted to fire. They're very horny and very aggressive.
Are we allowed to put that to air?
Sydney, stay classy.
I love everyone for making me feel this good.
Hello, welcome to Freddy and the Eighth. Just one round remains until we jump into the finals for season 2024. Great to be brought to you by our friends at the Tab, Andrew Johns and Brad Fittler.
Murray, the opening there, I think we need to change it. He actually kisses me on Kiss Cam.
Yeah, really, really kiss Cam. What a controversy.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of controversy, there's been a drama after that Roosters-Raiders game. What a game. What drama. What a dramatic afternoon.
One of the best club games I've seen in a long time.
The Raiders have been involved in a couple of epics last. Remember the game up in Newcastle?
Last year.
The semi, yeah.
That was
One of the great
incredible.
games.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Do you remember Dom Young just running up the sideline?
Yeah. And the crowd.
The whole grandstand, the Andrew
I can
Johns
remember
stand.
talking about
Yeah, he said it was the
saying
greatest moment there.
I've never seen anything like that. The
Yeah.
whole time playing there and as a kid, that was probably one of the greatest moments watching that happen.
Yeah, that was cool.
Bit of controversy in Brisbane as well. The Broncos busted and out of the finals race. We'll get you an update on the Freddy and the Eighth medal. Do you think the players are getting nervous? The lunch is on the line now.
We
as
might
head
run
towards
it
the final.
in tangent with Gus's harbour cruise.
That's a great idea.
We'll take him on the harbour cruise.
Do you think Gus will follow through?
No.
No.
Hey, Gus has got a bit of go about him.
And we've got our debate, thanks to the Tab, talking about playmakers from different eras. Now, we mentioned last week the thuggery of rugby league in the UK. We have gone into the archives and found some of the most brutal moments in Test history, starting with the one that we talked about, Barry McDermott on Paul Sirenen.
No, that's
Oh,
No, that's not the one. There's one worse than that.
no, that's
Kelvin
So
Scarrett.
that happened early in the game.
that's
Here we
Kelvin
go.
Scarrett. Here it is here.
Three head knocks in succession.
I missed that.
Again, another shot of it.
Oh! Goodness gracious.
Seriously.
And they're like, oh, that's the one.
Sean
that was
Edwards.
the Sean Edwards one.
Oh, he's a metre
Clyde
off the ground.
Doesn't Clyde do his knee when he lands there?
How bad is that?
But the
No,
bloke that hit
expensive.
Ciro with the elbow, Barry McDermott, is the nicest man you would
mentioned it.
ever meet.
He got
An
a week.
absolute
He
challenge.
got 1 week, and the Australians pleaded, and it was upgraded to 2 weeks. You get 2 years now. What's this?
That's
it's a replay.
Kelvin Scarrett.
Yeah.
That was the elbow
Oh.
with the ball. Poor old Ciro. Look at him.
He looks
isn't
like a no-nonsense fella, doesn't he?
Game of Thrones. What's this one? Get that in your creamy underpants.
Adrian Morley.
Go on, you
This
Barry.
tackle from Morley is in international infamy. Oh! Did not get suspended.
Yeah, slipped up off the ball.
Extenuating circumstances.
It's the quickest knockout in history, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it
12 seconds.
Poor old
Oh, dear, oh dear. And then Willie. So he takes on Sean Fielden and Sean Long. Gee, I hope the NRL don't watch this week's show. They'll be in the fetal position.
Jamie Peacock.
Jamie.
Bedsy loves him, Jimmy. Stuart Field was never the same after that.
What did he get for that?
I don't remember that.
No, I don't remember that. I
Willie.
don't remember the fight. They don't play many test matches. That was at Allianz.
Yeah. What about that punch? Oh,
Nice.
there you go. The Australians giving it back.
See, the other good one was Gordy. Oh, he was playing for Brisbane.
With Terry O'Connor.
Terry O'Connor.
World Club Challenge.
Yeah.
You don't remember, you don't forget anything, do you?
I do.
You love that stuff.
Oh, that one with Willie. I can't remember that one when he hit Sean
No.
Long.
I don't remember the Gordy and
You don't remember that?
O'Connell, isn't
Just
it?
got up off the play the ball. Gordy hit him about 4 times.
And then Terry gets a couple on him and actually split scored.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He's another one. Terry O'Connor, you wouldn't meet a nicer... Oh, him and Barry are on TV together.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Terry O'Connor's an absolute gentleman. They get on that field and they're absolute psychos.
Well, the Roosters, they're in all sorts of trouble. It's hard to think of a more diabolical afternoon for injuries in one game. Not just having those 3 serious injuries, well, 4 if you throw Butcher in, but key players. But they're key men.
Mate, with the halfback.
Yeah. I just can't think of anything that I've seen that rivals that.
So what happens now? So they've scored the most points of any team this year. So they've had a real attack focus on the back of Sam Walker. Here he is, Sammy doing his knee. What happens now? Do they go back to a defensive style? Because he's the key, because he provides that ad-lib unstructured footy.
Well, you know what? You just got to go out and win. The defence has got to get better.
So Keary will go to halfback, Santa Smith goes to 5'0".
Dennis Smith's been named at 7, but whether they play in that
Victor's
manner.
got a broken shoulder.
Mate, Joseph Tarpany, what a warrior he
How
was.
did he go? And then, for me, that...
So I was talking to Billy. We were looking up. So last year, I think at the start of the season, he actually had a minor tear in his ACL.
Yes, that's right.
I wonder if it's the same knee.
It is.
It is. Right.
Well, you know what? Early in the game, Brendan Smith was hobbling around. I wonder if he partially tore his cruciate because they strapped it up like...
Well, no, they were saying that was medial.
It's a medial ligament.
Yeah.
But
Look,
I wonder if there's...
No, they first said it was syndesmosis. Remember? I don't know if that was cross-line.
Well, I just wonder
sideline.
whether it's a small tear and then it's blown. But, mate, they can't win it now. You can't win without your best players.
so you lose a hooker, your halfback,
And
your
your
lock forward.
ball playing lock. And the intimidator, Victor. And no Jared.
Jared, yeah, he's got a week off, so he misses the first
To
7.
win a comp, you need so much luck towards the end of the year. Then you look on the other hand, you got Melbourne, full strength, except maybe Pappenhausen. But the thing is, with them, Munster missed all the origin, so he's fresh. So,
Now, on the back of that too, the post-match presser was, fairly heated, shall we say. You would have read a lot about Robinson versus Whitehead. Here's a listen to it.
He came up and just wanted to ask how Brandon was, and I just sort of said it's too many times. You know, the hip drop's been pretty common in his game for a long time. And I just said it's too many times, you know, it's cost us a player.
Oh, look, I'll speak about that. Look, obviously I didn't mean to do Brandon. I know he's come up with a bad injury and stuff, and, you know, I'm sorry to him for that, obviously. I just wasn't happy the way I went over to ask about Brandon, and Trent Robinson's had a go at me. I went to apologise and he's turned on me. So, you know, the way he done that, I thought that were out of order.
There's subtitles next time, please.
You know
Is
what?
it a bit rich of Robbo to be
No.
chipping
I can see
him?
both sides.
No, I think, mate,
I can see both sides.
Mate, Maria Hargreaves goes out and belts blokes in the head
Yeah,
3
but
times
he's
a
not
year.
thinking about that. He's looking hard for his players, highly emotional. And look, deep down, Trent Robinson probably thinks, well, I'm not saying what he's thinking, but maybe he's thinking, well, there's our chance of winning the comp. Look, it wasn't deliberate. This is like a total accident.
Is that a
But
hip drop?
No, I totally understand Trent Robinson. In the heat of the battle, at that moment,
It's his 4th time. So,
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
no. So, yeah, I'm with Joey. I
but
can
it's
understand
not,
both sides.
it is not your run-of-the-mill hip drop. There's so many different factors goes into that tackle there. You can talk about Brendan Smith got up and surprised him and how quick he took off. But so I can understand both sides. I can understand Trent Robinson being so emotional about it.
Anyhow, so you're saying no chance, gone. Rooster gone.
Gone. Gone.
She's a tough one.
Yeah. Incredible. Finals a week away, but this is an interesting game. Thursday night footy, Melbourne with their full complement with the exception of Pappy back on deck against the Broncos. They've been in the wars this week. You'll see it here on 9.
Footy's blockbuster final round is here.
It's a great way to start.
Thursday, spots on the table mean nothing. This will be brutal.
Oh, big shot.
The Broncos, determined to finish strong, out to smash the minor premiers, the Storm.
He's out there forever. He was levitating.
Monster Thursday night footy,
This is some game of footy.
live and free on 9 and 9 now.
Yes, and the Broncos in the crosshairs after that, well, fade out, demoralisation at the hands of the Dolphins, who they'd kind of undermined all week by calling them Redcliffe, refused to call them the Dolphins, and they went out and absolutely flogged them.
Smashed them.
Pumped.
Smashed them.
They're a good team, the Dolphins. They play as a team.
Fast.
Yeah, they're a good team.
The new setup worked, didn't it, with Fuller coming in at fullback, the hammer in the centres, gave them more speed. O'Sullivan was good. Avarillo at 6, hasn't played 6
Well, he
all
can
year.
do that. Was perfect because Avarillo, you can't get him worried about where you are on the footy field, and he just ran the ball. Mate, the times he ran with people, he made it simple, threw early passes, and was just was a threat with the ball. How good seeing hammer in space.
I called that game on the radio with Darryl and Gal, and as soon as he picked that up,
Off.
all three of us just stood. Like, it's just your instant reaction.
And he saw himself in the big screen and slowed down.
I reckon he's the best centre in the world.
He's good.
He's playing enormous.
Best centre in the world.
What he does is coming out of trouble. He does at both ends.
Geez, they missed him. Brisbane. Missed him, Flegler. Who's the other bloke?
Gilbert.
Capel.
Gilbert, Capewell.
Tino.
Gilbert was North Queensland.
He's North Queensland.
Oh, right.
Kirby's the one they've missed, the Broncos.
So the drama up there in Brisbane. So on radio, Billy Walters had a slot with Triple M, I think, and one of the hosts, former Wallaby Greg Martin, who, you know, he's a parochial sort of bloke. He's been into Kevy, so...
Who is that?
Greg Martin played rugby for the Wallabies, had a long media career. He's been into Kevin Walters, so Billy stood aside from the show as protest, and Adam Reynolds took the slot. So this is what prompted... Then Gordy came out and said, well, it's not great because when Reynolds was under the pump, Kevy supported him, but there's not the same level of support in return. So the old boys have a lot of pull up there, don't they? Like, they seem to have their noses in everything.
They've earned the right to. They've totally earned the right to.
How much I had a big say who Kevy getting the job. And last year you say, well, he did a fantastic job. We've got to say a lot of injuries this year to key players, and they just haven't really got back on the horse.
They've been really disappointing. But you said that, you know, there is excuses, a lot of injuries, but you look at other clubs that have had injuries, they just... It's hard. And people are speculating. People are going, oh, they're carrying like rock stars, they do this, they do that. Unless you know, if you're inside there, you don't know. So you can speculate all you want, but they've been disappointing.
Terrible.
Yes.
Well, the good thing is, from our point of view, like, you got another Brisbane team doing well. So the Dolphins will carry all the support this week. They were incredible, I thought. They were fantastic.
With respect to Kevy, though, and like everyone, he's a fabulous bloke, and got them within a couple of minutes of winning the grand final last year. But the reality is, in his 3 years, they've made the finals once.
He's under pressure, without a doubt. But I think he'll have a stay of proceedings till next year. I think, what did I probably give him? A couple of months, 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then if they're not firing, then you know what's going to happen.
They've struggled to keep him on the park. Do you see that as being one of the major issues?
How's he going to stay on the park next year?
Yeah.
He's
What's going to change?
No. Is he going 1 year too long?
Well, it's hard to say. But once again, imagine how much kicking he has done over his life. That's a big part of his game. Goal kicking, general play kicking. Your body just can't withstand it. His body's come to the end.
Where's the pathway? Who's the halfback coming through?
There's a young bloke in black.
Yeah, he played at Kobe
Played
Black.
in the 19s.
Cody Black. He played in the 19s, yeah.
But I remember that period. They had a period, remember when they had Dearden? They had the kid who come from Melbourne and went to England, Brodie Croft.
Yep.
They had about 3 or 4 there, and none of them worked. Like the team just was going awful, and they just chewed through halfbacks. Like, I just haven't seen a progression. Like, he's been injured, and Ezra Mam keeps saying he wants to play halfback. I haven't seen him play halfback. I can't see their progression. They had a perfect opportunity this year if they had that in place.
Maybe Ezra's the man. Let's get into our tab segment. Tab eras. We're talking about the playmakers. It's hard to compare eras, but it's one of the funner things to do. Playmakers. What was the best era? I'll start because I'm an impartial observer. I think your era was the best.
I'd go early 90s. Stuart Langer. Daly, Brandy. The King was around there.
Des Hasler played for Australia. Cliffy Lyons.
Cliffy Lyons.
Lyons.
But Cliffy Lyons played now, he wouldn't be the Cliffy. Could have been coached. Alfie, if Alfie was playing now, probably wouldn't even play in NRL. They wouldn't let him play. They'd be coached out of him.
Alfie Mark too,
Did
though.
you say Terry Lamb?
No,
Terry Lamb is another one. Yeah.
You know what I found? There was a real variety. Players that I think you're allowed. You could have different skills.
Well, teams played
like
different.
Laurie Daly was so different to Cliff Lyons, and then Terry Lamb again was so different.
Think of this freak.
He was unbelievable.
I love Loz. Jeez, I loved him. I still love him.
But
You know what? We think about attack. Loz was the best defence.
Left foot.
The
Left
best
foot.
defender by far. He hit hard.
I know it was a long time ago, but when he played for New South Wales, he went to a totally different level, Laurie, didn't he?
Well, that early, 92, 93, 94, was probably the best period for New South Wales. That team was just so good. So well balanced. Champions all through it.
He was a gun.
But, yeah, for me, probably early 90s. Stewart, Daly, Terry Lamb. Yourself, you went to 5'8" then. Brandy. He was playing for the Warriors then. Or the
Stacey.
Kiwis. Gary Freeman. And it's great to see Sam Walker now. That's why the Roosters are going to struggle, because this is Sam Walker. Sam Walker plays at any.
It's exactly the same.
Plays
isn't it?
outside the structure, keeps the opposition guessing. This bloke could control the game better than any halfback. Kicking and passing.
You talk about the difference. They're all great playmakers, but all very different. And we've talked about this a lot. The difference between Stewart and Langer, both number 7s, but just completely opposites.
Totally different.
Yeah.
And the way Canberra played, when the Brisbane played, were totally different. But nowadays, they all play pretty much identical.
Well, during the period where Brisbane were winning, Ricky Stewart was the halfback for Australia. And Brisbane were winning the competitions. New South Wales were winning Origin.
One of them never played a test in Australia. Was it Ricky or was
Don't
know. Either Langer or Stewart? I reckon it might have been.
I reckon it would have been Alfie. No, well, I think Ricky Stewart played in the England game that was down in Melbourne.
Okay.
He would have been the halfback.
One of them never played
I'm
halfback in
assuming it would have
Australia.
been-
And they did play one test together, actually. So, which of these playmakers of the current day you reckon would have slotted in back then?
Well, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
Very different rules, different game.
The top echelon of any players now would make it in any era. They got the mentality, they work hard, they're disciplined, they're tough. Back then, Sammy Walker would have been.
Mincemeat. He would have got hammered.
Oh, look at Alf.
Yeah, that's true.
He got by with his skill.
Yeah.
Mate, Alf was chunky, though.
I tell you who, we're talking about playmakers, which has gone out of the game. Locks now play in the middle. The locks back in the early 90s.
Jimmy Dimmick.
Jason Smith. Those two.
Scott Hill.
No, Scott Hill. No one plays short sides better than them. 4-on-4, 4-on-3s, 3-on-3s. They just... And you knew it was coming. Jimmy Dimmick would get the ball, you're going, he'll look in, he's looking in, he'll skip out. And then he'd look in and you turn in, and then he'd step out. Got me again.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
Fletcher's a good ball player too, wasn't he?
But he was more in the middle.
Yeah. Fletcher's good. I'd run a Fletcher all the time.
Yeah.
Fletcher come from one side of the field, I'd be 30 metres away and just know he would
And
find
there's
me.
me.
Eras, you see. They're great to talk about. And lastly, which position do you think in the current game is the best ever? Like, for instance, we've got the best crop of fullbacks ever.
Fullbacks.
Yeah.
Fullbacks have just, the
Well, they're the new
positions
5'8s.
changed so much.
They're the new 5'8s.
Yeah.
They link. Can you imagine Brett Mullins playing now, coming around on those sweep lines?
I've got to say, there's a player in our generation that was much like the fullback of today, was Tim Brasher.
Yeah.
Tim Brasher was, mate, very busy. He was super fit. He used to stay up. He used to stay about 5 metres behind the defence for the first 3 tackles and then run back, get the ball. He'd support in the inside, go around the outside. Mate, he was very fit, very busy.
There's another bloke that fired for New South Wales.
Tim Brasher's a great player.
Yeah. There you are. There you have it. There's our Tab Era segment for this week. On the way to the break, back into the archive. We love our archive stuff. We found it's the first time we met the great Jonathan Thurston back in the day.
When the Bulldogs secured the signature of Jonathan Thurston, they beat a host of clubs chasing one of league's bright young talents. In a pre-season trial against Brisbane, the 19-year-old scored 4 tries. Then in June, Thurston made his first-grade debut against Penrith.
I'm happy, I'm loving life. My girlfriend's moved down from Toowoomba with me, We're going real strong down here, which is good, and, work's good as well. So, I'm just loving life at the moment.
On Sunday, Thurston lines up for just his second game in top grade. while utility back Todd Polglaze is making his debut. Newcastle at home is a mighty challenge, but no one doubts the new kids can handle the rise.
It's just another game for those two guys. It's their first game, one's first game, one's second game, and if they can just do their job, I'm sure they'll enjoy the experience.
I haven't even played in the Knights before, so to play them up there and against Johns, it's a dream come true playing against the best player in the world.
Oh, that's so good. And
Tricky Trendle.
I didn't know he played for Canterbury.
Yeah, heaps. So the game that they were talking about was the Haslam game.
Yeah.
What did he play in that?
Yeah.
It was on TV the other day, and I got to say, sorry, Jay, I hit him with the biggest cheap shot.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. See that try there? Willie Mason talks about that try. Muzz, I don't know if he can go back to that first try. Yeah, we're up 19-0, and then they run us down late. But the first try, I get a dummy half and just... Yeah, watch this. See that? So when after I scored that try, I'm walking back on side and I go to Willie, hey, Willie, never fall for a dummy, never turn out. Mace reckons from that day on, he never took a dummy. Never took a dummy. It's hilarious.
Give it
But
advice.
JT, I actually hit JT with the biggest tube shot. He's on the ground. I can't
Get that
I'll
into
have to
your
dig that up for next week. It was on TV recently. I was like, oh, sorry, JT. Lucky I didn't hit him in the ears.
Honestly, it looks like he's in primary school, isn't it? Just amazing.
I'll taxi.
What about him punching the bag? It's like me punching it. Freddy the Eighth medal. Now, it's surely Joseph Tarpanay. Surely, boys. Here we go.
Right.
Oh.
Same, it just...
Yeah.
What now? Shuffle the deck chairs. Ponga. God, he is so good. He is so good. I hope he lights it up this week. He's on another planet.
With a bit of
No, the weather's looking good too. It's going to be one of those days up there.
This bloke here is just...
Look at that.
He took them on by himself, didn't he?
Mate, the
defensively,
tackle on Radley, he just stopped him.
He hit Joey Manu with one too.
Yeah.
Jammed him in the ribs. What a player. This bloke here, he's just...
Kept him in the game.
Sometimes it looks like a video game. It's going so much faster. And everyone, just give him the ball.
Well, you know what? Dad said must have listened to the commentary last week. Because I was watching, and, mate, every time he was in position, he got the ball.
Yeah.
I thought he did his knee here. Watch this.
I know.
Oh!
You really struggle watching
I know.
him, don't you? And Freddie, a little bit of sentimentality with the three votes for Johnson, or I mean, he clearly deserved
Well, you know
it.
what? Cronulla had plenty to play for. So the Warriors turned up, obviously, with him playing his last game. They were well behind. He set up the first try. And then to manufacture this, it was just incredible. It was just a great moment.
That's a fairy tale, isn't it?
That was a
Dead
great
set
finish.
fairy tale.
I wish he had kicked the goal.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say what, but Murray just told me in my ear that the leaderboard has gone behind closed doors. What? It's not the Dally M's.
Oh, mate, there's a lot of talk on the street about this.
Is there?
No.
I didn't think so. So Paul Harragon, Joey's main man. Here's how he announced his retirement.
He's been the heart and soul of Newcastle since the beginning, but injury has finished Paul Harragon's career.
6 weeks ago, my knee deteriorated to a factor where I barely could run, and training was near impossible.
He tried several treatments for his knee, including the new gel injections, but with little success.
The only reason that really kept me going is the boys, and in my mind, they're number one, and I just want to thank them for all their good memories and everything they've done for me.
The Chief was one of the original Knights back in 1988, adding grunt and guile to an engine room that rarely faltered. Harragon played 17 tests and 20 Origin games. The snatch and grab grand final victory 2 years ago, an indelible memory.
Being a part of a group of guys or an organisation that brought so much happiness to a lot of people and a big area was the most pleasing thing or the proudest thing I've done.
The best.
Yeah, cool.
Chief. I near had tears watching him retire. You know what? I caught up with him a fortnight ago. Last week, maybe a fortnight ago. He was down here from Mike Hughes Foundation. We had a few beers reminiscing. He's such a best bloke.
Yeah. Even the way he explains, how grateful he was. And in a time when no one could talk to a TV, he made sense.
Well, this is his big moment. Captain us when we won the grand final. And the night before the grand final, Chief loved a meeting. deep thinker, as you know. He got us all in the room and he had to go around and talk about winning the grand final, and, you know, it was all that shit. You know, I want to do it for this, and I was born here and means so much. And it got around to Mark Glanville, and Mark Glanville went to talk and just bawled his eyes out. And Chief just let him bawl.
Yeah.
And he was bawling his eyes out for about 30 seconds, and then Chief said, "Righto, boys," stood up amongst us. I'm getting goosebumps. He goes, "Righto, no one gets sent off in a grand final. Get on the back of me, I'm going to knock blokes out early." Like, he went out and dushed Spud. He was just smashing blokes. And without him, there's no way we would have won that comp.
There's like that in Origin as well. You know, we had a team, Ian Roberts, Glenn Lazarus, Paul Harragon. Chief was the one at the front. The blokes there that did different amounts of work and had different jobs, but he was the one at the front. He took them on.
The Chief and Spud, like the one at Newcastle. So the trainer comes on and goes, "Chief, you're off." So that night we're kicking away from Spud. You know how Spud used to get excited running the ball back. So we're kicking away from him, and the trainer comes up and goes, "Chief, you're off." He goes, looks at me and goes, "He used to call me Little Joey. Little Joey kicked a Spud." I said, "Righto." So it kicked off, and then that was the grand final. This is early when he was just erupting on everyone. He got twos with that. That's the one where he knocked himself out. That was off the kick-off. There's probably no more iconic tackle off the kick-offs than that one. He was.
Have you seen anyone go as hard as him, like put his body on the line as much?
No.
Just absolutely no fear.
And played through injury. Played through that much injury.
Could you explain a little bit about when he said in the retirement package we saw, he was talking about he couldn't keep going because his knee was so bad. How bad was it?
Well, it was just... I think he's had 2 knee replacements now, Chief. He's only probably in his mid to late 50s. His knee was absolutely gone, bone on bone. And he worked that hard and trained that hard and played through injury. What wasn't only his knee, he had a lot of bad head knocks. He had a lot of back-to-back-to-back head knocks. But he's our spiritual leader from Newcastle, and is always our spiritual leader. And to see him, every time I see him now, it's just so good to see him. And you know what? He's another one of those blokes. He's a nature's gentleman off the field and a deep thinker, and he's into the spirituality side of things and everything. But get him on the field,
so softly spoken. You had some great leaders in your career. Is he
number one?
He's the best.
Yeah, number one.
Led entirely by actions. Entirely by actions. There's been times. I remember actually when I was captain of the Origin team and he was in the team in '95. I remember going into the room and just going, "Mate," because our blokes, we weren't focused. And I was just sitting there, mate, just pleading with him, going, "What do I do?" He said, "Just don't relax. Same beyond try lines, you just go, what's our next job? Let's worry about our next job."
He started in the
Very
Senate.
simple.
Started in the Senate.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Did he play first grade in the Senate?
Played first grade. I remember he was telling me the other week, he played one of his first games, and we were talking about the King. I think we spoke about it on this show. He reckons the King hit him with one of the hardest hits. Blindsided him, jammed him in the ribs. But Chiefo, we salute you, mate. Great player, great leader, but an even better bloke.
So we know how tough he was on the football field, but like everyone on the footy show, he succumbed to the chilies. He didn't handle the chilies very well.
Everyone succumbed to the chilies.
But then what happened on the Chili's, Matt Callender, what was his executive producer, he came on and gave him some milk, but it was off. And there was big chunks in it.
I was on one of those shows where they did the Chili's. That might have been the one I was on.
I think
Fatty just buckled. Yeah, Fatty buckled.
Oh, Daredevil dudes. Was he a scaredy cat, the Chief?
Yeah. Yeah, like I remember actually when they went on the ride where they shoot him up.
Yeah.
The Vomitron. But they'd been on the drink the night before. And Chief's, he doesn't hardly drink. And they were all hung.
Oh, and that night, Sterlo's told me the story. I wish he was here.
At the casino, playing blackjack.
Yeah.
Sterlo
tried to call him on.
Yeah. Because he was at the end of the table playing blackjack, taking cards when he shouldn't. Sterlo called him a big dumb imbecile or something. And then he tried to call Chief outside. Let me tell you, smart money was on Chief.
Good on you, boys. Thanks, Joe. That was great. Fantastic to talk about the Chief, one of the absolute legends of the game. Broncos Storm, Thursday night footy. So Brisbane, can they fire up one last time in front of their home fans and give them at least something to be happy about going into the end of the season? Melbourne So everyone except for Pappy is fit.
I think they will for a while. And as you saw the other day, once the pressure's on, you've got to catch the ball under pressure. You've got to make plays under pressure. I just think they'll fold.
No, they've given up. In a game to save their season last week in front of a huge crowd at Suncorp, Battle of Brisbane, they got beat by 40. You know, the coaches get under pressure and the coaches cop the bag, but the players have got to take some responsibility.
You've got to catch the ball.
Catch the ball.
Catch the ball.
It's not up to the coach to motivate you. Get yourself ready to play.
All right. If it wasn't for all the drama with the Roosters injury situation, this would be back page news this week. We've got the Rabbitohs hosting the Roosters again, but round 27 and the Rabbitohs out of the finals picture. But gee, they could cause some grief if they were able to somehow cause an upset against this new look Roosters team.
It's a big chance.
I don't think so.
It's a big chance. They'll aim up. Showed it in the last 20 years. Throw form lines out the window. I give the Bunnies a big chance.
Jack Wyden out?
Yeah.
Wyden's out. But you could see, Brad, how South would use this week and all the drama with the Roosters for motivation. I mean, you're looking for motivation at this time of the year. You know, there could be, boys, they're on the back foot here. We could really wreck their season.
Yep.
There's a bit to play for, but so no Cam Murray.
He's suspended, yeah.
He's out.
Latrell's
so
back.
It's all on. It's
Latrell's
all on
fit.
Cody.
Latrell's fit to play.
It's all on Cody and Cookie.
Yeah.
Really.
Cookie's last game.
Yeah.
Tom Burgess last game.
Last game, yeah.
So
No.
I'd have to.
They've done nothing to tell me that they're going to go any good.
It'll be the first time.
I think it'll be close.
The first time since, well, I think it's like 2011 or 2012 that Souths haven't had a Burgess at the club when he leaves.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Saturday night footy.
We might get one back as a coach.
We may well. So the Panthers play the Titans, Bluebet Stadium known as Penrith Park. So it's Penrith Park for the night because it is the last regular season game at the stadium before it gets knocked over and rebuilt. The Titans have been awful the last few weeks.
So if Souths do beat the Roosters, so that means Penrith cannot be knocked off second place? Is that?
Yep, Penrith will.
So would they be tempted to rest Dylan Edwards because we know he's carrying that knee injury? Would Ivan maybe rest some players? Liam's another one. He's been
nothing
playing
to
a lot.
gain. Although they were less than convincing after half time last week.
The refereeing also was stop-start. But
Yeah.
they got rolled by Melbourne at home, then Penrith Canberra beat them away, and then, as you said, they were clunky last week. It all depends on Nathan. If Nathan is not anywhere near 75%, they can't win it. Is that important?
Dylan Edwards not moving as freely as he liked. Like normally,
I'm not talking about not this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the competition.
normally Dylan would add something to, making them look a little bit more slicker. But I just feel like he's a little bit off at the moment too.
Well, when Dane Laurie's filled in for him, he's been dynamite.
Mitch Kenny back last week too. That's what I thought there'd be a difference. But
Jack Cole, he's gone for the year.
Yeah.
He's the backup.
But with respect to if they wanted to give Edwards a week off in this game, they're not going to lose anything, if you will, with Dane Laurie. And then Sunday footy, well, how about this? Last game of the Premiership.
Yeah, good.
And it determines who's going to finish in 8th place. Unless there's a draw. Hang on.
I'll tell you what's good.
This game has to be a draw.
If there's a draw, Canberra or the Dragons go through, unless they have a draw. You know
You
what?
wouldn't discount anything.
The thing I like is the two teams playing for 8th are mostly two of the more informed teams. Like their last couple of weeks have been strong. They've handled pressure. They've had to win games to get to where they are. So they'll deserve it and they'll go into the semis with confidence. Whoever wins is a halfway threat of... They're going to play the Canterbury or the Cowboys.
Yeah, very winnable game. So on the left-hand side of the field on Sunday...
No, because Canterbury or Cowboys have to win. One of them will win.
And one of them will be 5th. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So either side of the field, on the left-hand side, you got Bradman up against Herbie Farnworth, and on the right side, you got Hammer up against Gagai.
Pretty good.
Wow. How good's that going to be?
Geez, Trey Full had a game last week, didn't he?
Goosebumps.
Yeah. I love how brave he is. He's brave. He
is.
attacks.
Yeah.
He attacks the hole.
So you're tipping the Dolphins?
Did I?
You tipped the Dolphins. Well, it came up Dolphin.
Did it?
So the King...
And the Kings tipped the
Is
Dolphins.
this the King? How long has the King been on our tips for?
King can do
The
whatever
King's
he
just
wants.
popped...
I thought I tipped the Knights
Is this
earlier
the
with
King
Joey.
of England or is this the King Wally Lewis?
King Gutho.
King Gutho's tips. All right. Fantastic week of footy coming up. 4 games of NRL plus all the NRLW here on 9.
So people, send in your... Do people tweet on this? No. Send messages in?
Oh, yeah, they send lots of
emails
comments.
or something?
Is there still Twitter as an X?
Who do we want to talk about next week in My Heroes?
I said we should get Royce Simmons on.
Simmons.
So can we do Royce?
Yeah, we can do Royce.
Royce.
People out there, who do we want to talk about? Because that's the key. Someone we know and stories we know about them. I love going back and telling stories about.
You know who's one of the great legends? I reckon they never got the credit. Steve Menzies.
Oh.
He's one of the best players I think I've ever played with.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's got a stand named after him.
I suppose.
Half named after
him. He's got about 6 houses. He should give 3 of those to Cliff Lyons.
Yes, that's right. And by the way...
And the other back row, Daniel Gardner and Nick Kosef.
He was...
Steve, I don't think ever took a run in his own half.
If you're looking for something good to watch on your lunch break, or maybe if you're bludging at work, have a look at what's your great segment called on the Sunday Footy Show again? I've just completely Turn it up with the Wok. The Wok was fantastic.
It could have gone on for an hour.
Oh, a day.
We've been caught out the last 2 weeks.
It's too short.
With the short
Langmack was
version.
great. The Wok was great.
He looks strong and fit.
Oh, yeah. He still trains every day.
Mate, you know what?
Walks around Maroubra and then gets down the beach.
He's strong in the mind. He was sharp. He still had big opinions and had a good memory.
It's just a professor of rugby league.
He'd be still great on radio. It's a shame.
Mate, the impact he's had, Gus come from under the Wok. You can tell a lot of the ideas have come through the Wok. And then from Gus has obviously come a whole heap of coaches as well. So, yeah, he's had a huge impact on the game.
The last 6 months, myself and Langmack have been meeting Warren a couple of times a month to have lunch and get different people. There's the Canterbury blokes from the 80s, Joey Thomas and Cement Gillespie and that sort of thing. And then we took Mitchell Moses maybe a month ago.
Wow.
Because there's a connection there. He coached Benny Elias. He sat down and he goes, Mitch, I've got to tell you something. Your performance in Origin 3 was absolutely sensational. Mitchell goes, oh, I said, Mitchell, he doesn't rap you unless you deserve it.
Oh, what's that?
My race is about to go.
Joey's got a race. Now, I'm told you can click here and watch Turn It Up. I think we can watch all of them.
Yeah. Award-winning. He's won an ARIA.
Can you go to the tab? Can you go to the tab and watch this race?
He's got 6 minutes. See you next week. We'll be talking finals.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
This year, NRL on 9 is your one-stop shop for all footy.
That's right, Freddie. Not about the highlights. Action. 7 days a week.
Billy and Gus podcast. Get that on your drive on the way home. Immortal Behaviour. Grab a seat on the couch for that. And, of course, my favourite, Freddy the Eighth.
The best footy brains, the biggest games.
Don't trust the algorithm. Subscribe to NRL on 9 and get all your entertainment there.